Is Anton for continuing to rock with me. Thank you to everybody that continues to support the channel. This one is going to be a little bit different than a normal show that we have because what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a conversation with who I like to identify, and it's just because I'm putting respect on his name. I'm gonna call him Mr. Robinson, but Bernard Robinson is the father of Shanquella Robinson. Okay. And first, I want to give an acknowledgement to the father, and I'm going to bring him up in 1 second. But I do want to acknowledge that this show is a little bit different simply because we're not doing any kind of promotion. We're not doing any kind of acknowledgement of sponsors and things like that. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. But I think that this story is more important than the sponsorships, the money, anything like that. The objective of this show is to give a voice to those that are usually voiceless, those that usually are silenced, those that are not normally able to communicate exactly what their thoughts are, and their narratives are spinned by the media. And one of my objectives has always been to give a voice to the people. And that's why I extend my platform to people to say whatever it is that they want to say and be able to have that conversation. So without further ado, I'm not going to extend this intro any longer. I want to bring up Mr. Robinson, Bernard Robinson. I'm going to call you Mr. Robinson. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing the grace of on the grace of God. I'm doing. I'm doing. It's been a month now, but I'm standing on His grace. It's in you all strength, y'all prayers that y'all sending out across this this nation and this world. That's the only way I'm standing. And even to sit here and talk to you today. But I'm gonna stand because I got to get justice for my daughter. I got to stand for her because she can't talk. So I got to stand for her. And I'm gonna stand to every last breath out of my body. Because this wasn't supposed to happen. Not at all.
You know a completely different Shaquilla. Am I saying her name properly? Shaquilla?
Yeah,
Shanquella?
Shanquella.
Shanquella. You know a completely different Shanquella than we know, right? And although we are passionate about what is going on, because I personally believe that this is an egregious offense that needs to be brought to justice, and it's a completely different thing that we're dealing with simply because it's in a completely different country. Can you tell us the daughter that you know? Can you describe for her and paint the picture for her so that we can be a little bit more passionate about seeking justice for your daughter? Can you tell us a little bit about your daughter?
I want to tell y'all, I always tell her she a beautiful young lady on the outside, but that same beauty that she had on the outside, she had that same beauty in the inside. Because I come from a background with a mother and a father in the household, and we had structure, we had discipline. We just not gonna do what we want to do and think we're gonna talk to our mother and father in a kind of way. It wasn't gonna roll like that. And so I try to bring her them same qualities that I came up with, building that foundation in the church at a younger age, um, in Easter plays, Christmas plays. I mean, doing, little skits and, um, Bible school in the morning. She got baptized.
Mm,
So she had that relationship with God. She knew who God was in her life.
yeah.
And on throughout the years, I'm always was there, picking up from the nursery, picking up from the elementary school, go and sit in the classroom with her, start putting in little things that she liked to do, and that was cheerleader, cheer America. Started off at a younger age, around about about 5 or 6 years old, and all the years she got good at it. Went on to a cheerleader, Carolina All Stars, a cheerleader competition. They traveled, and from there she went on to West Charlotte High School. I mean, she wasn't no perfect young lady. It was a It was a struggle. I had to make sure she kept her grades up.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers would call, and once the teacher called, I made sure I took care of the issue. You know, but sometimes, like I say, it was God's grace that really, made me to be the father who I am through my mother and my dad, and trying to show her how to become a young lady, as she get older. You respect people, say yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Don't never look down on your peers because a blink of an eye, you could be in that same situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just a father who got up each and every morning. As God woke me up in good health and good strength, I'm gonna go to work and provide for her and my family, you know. And she was a beloved child, And I always tell her, expand your mind, at an early age, got her laptop, make sure she can get on the computer and go and see the places and see the culture, how other people live in different from the United States, So one day when you get older and start working, you can go and visit these places, And
Mm-hmm.
and it came, reality came, it came. Reality came. I said, but you gotta put God first and pray, I mean, she might didn't go to church every day, but she was in church. She was in church. If not, she prayed, I said, always pray to the Lord. Put all your cares in his hands. He'll move when he ready to move. As long as you put it in cares in his hands and just leave it alone, trust and believe me. Put your faith strong like it's supposed to be. He will do what he said he gonna do. You know. Um, she was just an outgoing, loving, caring people. She was a people person, just like her dad. She wasn't no fighter or trying to start no drama or nothing. She just like people and just like, just to have fun with people around in her circle.
Yeah.
I always tell her, if you the smallest one in your circle, you need to start looking at your friends. You know, you shouldn't have to be the smartest one in your circle,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so that's what that's who she was, And, went to Winston-Salem. She got burnt out. She didn't want to do the cheerleader at Winston-Salem.
Mm.
So she took up nursing and business management. So after all that, she started working a few jobs and then, started working at United Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
And she came to me and said, Dad, I'm doing hair. I said, yeah. I see that. She said, I'm getting sort of burnt out. I said, well, Dad, I said, baby girl, if you can make it doing hair and you can be good at it and have a comfortable life living, you ain't got to get rich. Just be successful in your own way.
Yeah.
I said, but your dad gonna always be there for you. No matter if, you take a fall, I'm there. I'm there. I'm gonna pick you back up, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And and that's who she was. She's just a likable person. I mean, it's just her personality, her spirit. It just attract friends. And I always tell her, everybody who come in your circle is really not your friend.
Mm.
You got to evaluate them. You got to observe them. You got to just sit back and just observe and see what's what, and go from there.
Yeah.
You just cut them off in a silent way. You know, it ain't got to be no drama or whatever. You know,
Mm.
it's just that she had so much going for herself. For them to do what they did. You know, I don't understand it. I just want to know why they did what they did and the way they did it. It was just so harmful, man. So degrading
Yeah.
to another human being that God didn't give y'all that authority to do no such thing like that. And you really heard a father back here who loved her conditionally greatly. You know, that was a seed that God blessed me with. That was a seed that I raised up to be the best that she could be. in her own way, have her own style about herself.
Yeah.
She always taught her to be a leader, not a follower. You know,
Yeah. Absolutely. Did you and just feel free to cut me off, say whatever you want to say. This is your platform. This isn't my platform today. This is your platform. At any point, um do you know how many people that she went with?
it was 6 people, was 7 with her. So
Okay.
you know,
So six of her so-called
I'm just
friends.
right. So called one supposed to have been her best friend, Khalid Cook. You know, I don't know them. I don't know them. Only thing I know, they went to school with her. That's all I know.
They went to high school, college with her?
They went to college. They
Okay.
went to college. I think they went to college with her. So by they going to college with her, those years is already gone.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. So really, them years, people change. You know,
Mhm.
people change. But I just didn't get a chance to know who they was. You know, sometimes when kids get to a certain age, because we did it back when we was that age,
Yeah.
you didn't want your parents to know what was going on or what you were doing.
Yeah, you trying to live your
You
own
know,
life. Yeah.
right?
Well,
You know, and
I
I can
think that
understand
that's
that.
I think that a lot of that comes from just being raised in a church, right? Because we know right from wrong. And a lot of times,
Right.
we don't want to be held accountable based off of those principles and values that you instilled in her. So let me just say this before we even continue. You did your job as a father. You are a good man. Don't let nobody or any story or any narrative come out that would ever cause you to question as a man. I'm supporting you as a man, and I'm helping. I want you to understand because I don't know what your support system is. I don't know who've reached out to you. I'm hoping that one of these organizations, these Black Lives Matters organizations or whatever, I'm hoping that they supporting you and giving you a voice and championing your cause in a way that it should be championed. But I want you to know that you're a good man. You did your job. You are absolutely positively to be celebrated and championed, and I think that you are a good man.
Daniel, you know, I'm just old school, man. I don't be
Yeah,
on Facebook, none of that. Man. It's just that I just didn't have to tell you know who these friends was. That's
yeah.
all, man. You know, only if I could have known, if I could have talked to them or said something, you know, to them, y'all better bring them back here. You know,
Hmm. Has any of these organizations reached out to you to help you or champion your cause or anything like that? Have they all come to your aid or anything?
no, I just been standing on God's grace and my faith, man, and the prayers across this nation, across this world. You know, like I say, I don't deal with a whole lot of people. All this right here is new. This is totally new to me. I mean, I ain't my wildest dream. I never thought I would experience something like this right here, man. You know, not at all. I thought my daughter be burying me, not me burying her, man. You know,
Yeah.
that was my only child. That was my only child for them, did what they did and come back here, man, like it wasn't nothing, man. Like they ain't had no, like she ain't had nobody back here that cared greatly, deeply for her. She ain't had nobody that loved her conditionally, man. She had so many friends out here that loved her, man. You know, for them to do that and take over there, she didn't know, man. They just caught her from the blind side. She thinking she having fun. Didn't even know what was about to go down.
And you don't
You
even know
know, as a
why. You
father,
don't know
man,
why
for
they
me,
set her up or anything, huh?
nah, it just seemed like it was plotted, man. I can't think of number envy and jealous of her, man. You know,
Mm.
and she a type young lady. She don't think she all that, not at all. She just have a style about herself, man, and just was trying to make a living for herself and just be a successful in her own way, man.
I know you still grieving, and I know
And
you
just
still
treat
going
people,
through a
man.
lot. I don't. One thing that my first thought as a father that has one daughter. I don't have any other kids. I'm a father that only has a 14-year-old daughter. My first thought as a guy that's been raised in a church. right? And I've literally been raised in a church. Um, for all intents and purposes, I call myself a Christian, right? And I'm not perfect, obviously, but I'm a father. And the first thing that came to my mind
Yeah,
is, oh my God, like I don't know what I would do to the people that committed this egregious crime and then came back and tried to lie about what it is that happened. How do you stay how do you stay standing on love and leaning into God when such an egregious thing has happened um to your only daughter?
I can't question God, what had happened. Only thing I can ask him, to give me justice, and give me the strength to get through this like I'm doing what I'm enduring. Uh, that's how I'm standing, man. It's y'all prayers across
Yeah.
this nation, across this world. Y'all took a heed to the story. Like I say, they came back here. All of them never did give me no condolences. They never called and said, Mr. Robinson, we sorry about your daughter lost.
They didn't say
None of the
nothing to you,
parents
huh?
reached out to me. None of the parents reached out to me and say, Mr. Robinson, sorry about your daughter. You know, none of them, none of them.
None of them,
Went
nobody,
over
not
to
a
them,
parent or nothing,
none
huh?
of them, none of them, man, none of them, man, not none of them. They just went over there, got back with her daughter, got back with my daughter's suitcase and her phone, man. And they
Wait,
sit
they
there,
brought her suitcase and her phone back?
yes, man, yeah, sit right there at her sister's house. Her mom was over there. Sit right there at her sister's house and told her mom and her sister there was no altercation. They sit right there and ate their food and looked them right in their face. Said it was alcohol poisoning. We sitting around drinking and having fun, playing a game, and she got sick and all that, man. That fucking, I said, nah, I wasn't going for it.
So from the
I was
very
not going for
beginning,
no
you wasn't.
alcohol poisoning.
From the very beginning, you was just like, "Wait, what the heck is going on?"
Yeah, I'm not going for it. So you tell me Khalid Cook, you supposed to be her best friend for 5 years, and you gonna let this happen under your watch, knowing our daughter's in your care, and you supposed to be her best friend? I mean, you didn't went on field trips with her mom and her sister, and my daughter then went
Mm.
on field trip. I mean, went on no, I'm saying field trip. They went on trips with your moms. You know, come on, man. Now, what type of man are you? What type of people are all of? You
And
know,
nobody defended her, and nobody stood up for her, huh? Not one of the six defended or stood up
no,
for her.
not at all, man. Not at all. They came back here, living their life, walking around like it's okay. But, that when her dad came and stood up, nah, not at all. Ask God, show me what happened to my daughter. Show me that Monday. I had to go and find her, man. I don't know nothing about Mexico Cabo. So I got on my phone and Google, the real call the embassy. They giving the run around. So I said, I Google the funeral homes down there. So I Googled the funeral homes down there. Came up on Riviera Funeral Home and called him first. The guy was Spanish. He understand a look what I was saying. He said, call back. And a lady named Elizabeth picked up the phone and she spoke Spanish and English. And she spoke English real good. And she said, Mr. Robinson. I said, you have Shanquella Robinson in your morgue or funeral home? She said, let me look at the docket. She said, yes, sir. I got your door. So I just broke down, started crying, man. Because I wasn't going to let her stay down there. No. So she said, Mr. Robinson, I'm going to stick with you till I get your daughter back to the States. To you. She said, I feel your pain as a father. So I feel your pain. You know, said, I don't know you and you don't know me, but I'm going to make sure your daughter get back to you. And she did that. So I know that wasn't but the grace of God, and God moving through her relationship with the Lord. Every day we correspond. She sending me text messages, the paperwork I had to fill out, how much the money was going to be. I had to go and wire the money and everything. and through the funeral home, the lady at the funeral home, Brianna, her name was Brianna, she helped me also at Rosedale Funeral Home. She helped me with the getting her back over here, Mr. Robinson, we got you, you know. So that following Thursday, because it take a lot of time to do the that paperwork from Spanish to English. So she get all that, and she say phone call. She calls me, Mr. Robinson, your daughter will be to you that Thursday. That next following Thursday, she came in, man. I'm sitting at the door, Rosedale Funeral Home, them doors open, man. She brought it in there. They brought it in there, man. I broke down like a baby, man. You know, and I looked at her, you know, saw the knot like an eye was swollen, cut on her lip. I said, nah, y'all tacked her. Y'all jumped on her. That's what y'all did, y'all. Wasn't no alcohol poisoning. The lady even told me that before she even got to me. She said, Mr. Robert, your daughter didn't have no alcohol. She died on a broken neck and a spinal cord was broke. I see him, and I just burst out, started crying. Then I stood over. I didn't want to leave that funeral home that night, man. A friend of mine had to pull me out of there. Had to pull me out of there. So I told him, baby girl, your dad will give you justice. Your dad will give you justice. They will pay for this. Through the grace of God. God gonna make it right. God gonna make it right. So next day got on the phone, called the investigator down there. He said, Mr. Robinson, he said, I'm sorry about your loss. And I told him what happened. He said, yo, what you said in the statement, what I just looking at is totally different what they said, sir. He said, you get the ball rolling up here. We're gonna make it, it'll get the ball rolling down here, sir, but you got to do your part up there. And so, in the grace of God, I asked him to give me the strength to do it. Even though I was hurt, crying all at the same time, man. But I wasn't gonna let them get away because I knew it wasn't no alcohol poisoning. They just sit there and lie. And they back over here in the States, then they shut down their phone, Facebook pages and they cut their phones off, They don't realize what they done done to me. They don't know. Don't even have no sympathy, you know, no remorse, knowing that she had a father. Because I know she talked about me, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm.
And she suffered, man. She suffered. Her last breath she took, she suffered. And this, man, mm, mm, mm. I just want justice. I'm going to wait on God because I know He going to deliver. And He going to deliver in His own time. And when He deliver, He going to deliver.
And you had to go through all of this by yourself. You had to do all of the traveling. You had to go and find this out yourself. If it wasn't for you.
No, I didn't travel. No, I didn't travel. I found it on the phone. I didn't go to Mexico, Cabo. God led it to me on the phone, man. I got on the phone. I just Googled. The first funeral home came up in my phone, man. I called that number, and she was there. So I know what number God, my faith. I'm not perfect at all, but I serve a high power Lord up in the air. We all do. It's just what kind of relationship that you have with Him, you know.
Yeah. Who is I read a report um this morning, and it's rumors. It's nothing that's been confirmed, but it's almost like rumors that's been going around of a Daejhanae Jackson. A Daejhanae Jackson has been arrested or something like that. Who is Deja? Do you know who Daejhanae Jackson is? Have you ever met a Daejhanae
Like I
Jackson?
told you, I don't know none of. I don't know them. I don't think I know that was the one that was hitting on her in the video, man.
The Daejhanae Jackson?
Yes, that's all I know. I was at the burial site, like I say, and by the way in Betty Ford Memorial Park where I was gonna put her at, and I got a NCBB sent me the video, and I saw the video, man. I started crying. I told him, send it on your platform, send the video out, man. Because people, they say it was alcohol poisoning. Mexican authorities say it wasn't no foul play. So God
Wait, so the
started moving
authority
right then
said
and
that it
there.
wasn't foul play when you first found out about it? They wasn't
Right.
gonna
They
do
said
an
it wasn't no foul
investigation or
play.
nothing. They was just saying it wasn't no foul play, and they was just gonna let it go.
Right. They put it down as no foul. If yeah, no foul play. So
And so it wasn't
so
until
that
you
was a
start
God style
pressing
move.
and doing your part that the guy told you, that the guy at the funeral home or whatever, or the lady. It wasn't or the investigator down there. It wasn't until you started pressing until they started digging in and saying, no,
Yeah,
this ain't foul play, or this is foul
right.
play.
When I got that video, when I got that video, and I saw that video, and I told NCBB, Gerald Jackson, I sent it to him. He sent it to me, and I told him, I said, go ahead, man, put it on your platform. Let the video go, or whoever had the video, put it out there because they say it was alcohol poison. They say it was alcohol poison.
And they brought back her
So
phone
that
and her
corroborates they lie.
and they brought back her phone and her suitcase.
Right. So evidently, man, I look at it like this: they had the video on their phone all the time, sitting there telling that lie, man.
Who? How did they obtain the video? I don't understand how they obtained the video.
One of them I guess they kept the videos in their phones, man. They were sitting there recording.
That
Calais
makes it
Cook, he
even
sit
more
right there and record
heinous.
the video. He sit right there and record the video, man.
That is crazy.
That was him. That was him just saying, Quilla, you ain't gonna fight back. That was him.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Has any politician reached out to you? You said that no organizations or anything like that has tried to help or reached out to you. Has any politicians or local politicians or national politicians, has the president, has any of these
Nah,
people
man.
that's standing on
Nah,
anything that say that
no,
they love black
no
people and that they
whatsoever.
advocating for justice, none of these people has reached out to you? Nobody.
No. Mm-mm. I don't know but the news media, man. That's basically about it. You know, that's it. You know,
So you
it's out
standing
there
out here
now.
by, well, let me say
Next,
this. Let me say this. You're not alone, cuz I'm with you. You got my number personally. Anything that you need from me, if I can do it, I will do it. Anything that you need from me, I absolutely got your back. I don't know about no other organizations. I don't know about no politicians. I don't know about none of that. But if you need anything from me, all you got to do is call me or text me, and I got you literally listed in my favorites.
I mean, the lady, Tanya Rivers, that got the gospel radio station, did an interview with her. You know, she helped me trying to get with the Congress lady, Thelma Lee. So, they supposed to call me back sometime today. And Rich, they only can do number so much because they don't handle number state, um, issues. So, but they gonna, stay on it, stay behind it, make sure everything, is supposed to be doing. So, right now it's up to the Michigan authorities to do what they got to do, get the paperwork together, to go ahead and get the documents or uh, whatever they got to do to get them back over here, get them back over there, man. Because I want every last one of them, every not one. I want every last one of them over there, man. Not just one, every last one of them.
You got thousands of people watching right now, right? And one question that a lot of people keep asking me on a regular basis, and I've reserved myself from actually posting any links or doing any GoFundMe's. And I told you specifically, I said, whatever it is that we can do to help financially or whatever like that, I want to be a part of that. It was a GoFundMe that apparently somebody set up on her behalf. Is it any way that, well, first, I guess the question is that legitimate? Because I know it's a lot of GoFundMe's that be jumping around when stuff happen.
For
Is
the
that
go,
legitimate?
for the GoFundMe page is in her sister name to cool alone, but I don't want to have nothing to do with that GoFundMe page, man. God gonna fight my battle for me, man. You know, money, money is not everything to me. You know, you can't take you can't take nothing with you when you leave from here. You
But
know,
with all due
money ain't
respect,
everything,
though,
and then
Mr.
I
Robinson,
taught her that. I taught her money's not everything. So I taught her that. You know, don't praise money. Don't praise material stuff. Not at all.
Mr.
When you
Robinson,
start
though,
praising it,
we got to
yeah,
be able to, you got to be able to accept some help, though, because it's not that money is everything. We don't love money, right? The love of money is the root of all evil. But if we can empower you with more tools and resources, and if people can put things in place and that we can assist you, not necessarily just because we know that you're a good person. I know that you're a good father. Nobody is trying to, say that money is everything. But if we can use more tools in our arsenal, and you shouldn't have to stand on this by yourself, you should have people and resources and groups and organizations and donations and money. We put money to everything else. Why we can't put money towards the justice for Shanquella? Like, you got to be able to accept help too, my friend. You can't do this alone. This is not just your burden to bear. She's all of ours. Any injustice done to any one of us is injustice done to all of us. And so you're going to have to be able to accept our help too, Mr. Robinson.
I don't take nobody kindness for their weakness, my man. But I just want the Mexican authorities. Everybody can just reach out there down to the Mexican authorities, say the United States want justice, want them back over there, man. You know, because they need to be held accountable for this, man, to the
I agree.
utmost. I don't believe in taking nobody's life whatsoever. You know, she didn't deserve this, not at all, man.
Yeah.
To get treated like this, man, to be put on video naked, man, not at all, man. I mean, degraded, man, humiliation, man. For her dad to see this, man.
Yeah.
If everybody see it across the nation, across the world, man, my daughter out there like that, man. Come on. It's going on a month now, man. That pain still there. That pain, that emptiness, man. Can't hear a voice. Can't see the, I can see the smile on the photo, but I can't see that smile with the naked eye.
Yeah.
You know, can't sit down with him, go out and eat, and go to church with me sometimes, man. All that's gone. They took that from me, man.
Mm.
It's the little things that I cherish. It's not the big things, man. It's the simple little things, man. You know,
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Robinson. I could never, ever even imagine what you're going through right now. And all I can do is offer my condolences and my support. And when you get done grieving, I'm still gonna have your back, whether or not you want it or not, whether you say money is important or not. I'm still gonna push, and I'm still gonna allocate my own personal funds and resources in order to ensure that justice shows up for Shanquella.
I appreciate that, Mr. Daniel. You I just want justice for her, man. It's going on a month now. I'm just trying. I'm a very patient man. I teach my daughter to be patient. I teach all the little kids to be patient, man. When she was coming up, man, I used to go and pick kids up on her friends and take them to the skate ring, man. Tell the parents, man, those my daughters. As long as your daughter's with my daughter, man, they my daughters also. If they in good hands. I sit at that skate ring, man, 23 hours with them and just let them skate, man. Let them just enjoy life. You I
Mm.
drive part time with John C. Smith University, man. I had the cheerleaders all the time. It's Peggy Loud, the Lovables, man, for about 10, 15. I'm still doing it now, man. They love Shanquella. Shanquella like a little sister to them, man. They would take Shanquella up to their dorms, man, before we take off or they playing the game, man. They take Shanquella up to their dorms. And their dad one day I want to go to college. I said, you better get to go to college. I want to chill too. I said, okay, I mean, fine. So I still that value. I want to go to college, man. You know what it feel like at a younger age. She was up on the campus with them, man. You know,
Mm. You mind if I
and
show
even
a
the
pic?
parents,
You mind if I show a picture that you
even the
sent me?
parents, man, the cheerleaders. Yeah, go ahead, man. Even the parents, John C. Smith, all the cheerleaders, they all the fathers and the mother used to come up and say, we know you, Mr. Bernard. We hear about you, how well driver you are, taking care of our child. I said, yeah, man, your kids is mine just as well as y'all because safety is my number one priority. Driving is my livelihood, man. That's how I was able to provide and give her what she wants, man.
You sent me this picture today. and I promised
Yeah,
you that I would show it on a live stream. Can you tell me about this picture right here?
that was a junior or senior year at West Charlotte High School, which that's the high school I graduated from. You know,
So she went to the school that you went to, your high school.
right,
Mm.
high school. Very smart, intelligent man. A being on the road. You know,
Mm.
academics, man. You know, but I
Wow.
think one time she won homecoming queen. I think it was a sophomore year. I think a sophomore year, I believe. You know,
Did she?
always, make sure that she got her grades done, man. Projects, take her to the library, man. Help her with her projects, man. When she was in high school, junior high, even high school, I wouldn't let her until you get your homework done. That's when you can do your activities or what you want to do. But first, that homework got to get done first. You know,
Mm. Mm.
they just don't know. It took a bit, man. They didn't, man. They just don't know what they didn't done. This father here, man. They just don't know.
What do you think should happen
You
to?
know,
What do you think should happen to him? I know you say it's in God's hands, but at the same time, I think that you should be at the forefront of because they didn't even apologize to you. They didn't even acknowledge you. They came back like nothing happened. They lied to his to you to her family. They acted like they was friends, and then they recorded it like animals. And in your opinion, right? What do you think, or what is your opinion as to what should happen um, to these people who
it's just
called
suffered the
themselves their
same way
friends?
my daughter. It's just suffered the same way my daughter suffered, man. It's
Mm,
just suffered the same way she suffered, man. For them to leave her there, and the maid had to find her, man, and then for them to leave and catch a taxi cab and get on and go to another air hotel and sit there until they flights leave and they leave her there, man. Come on, nah,
mm.
that don't sit well with me at all.
Don't sit well with none of us.
You know,
Honestly, I still think you're too nice, Mr. Robinson, because see, it's difficult, and I understand that it's difficult for you to focus on anything other than your daughter. But see, what angers me even more than what happened is the fact that nobody is coming to your aid and nobody is trying to help, and none of these organizations and these people that say that they for the people, none of them are actually present in your life and putting forth any kind of effort to assist you when the rubber meets the road. Do you have any thoughts about that in a general sense?
no, I really don't even cross my mind, man. I'm just a type of person, man. Like I say, I'm just normal person. I don't try to let a whole lot get to me. I don't stress or worry. It's just that, man. I just take it as I just take one day at a time, man. God wake me up, thank Him for it, and I go on with my day, man. You know, just keep me safe around. No harm or danger come upon me. You know, and I always pray over my daughter, my family, my friends, my enemies, man.
Hmm. Well,
So
I'm taking it personal. This is personal for
I
me.
just,
It's personal for me, Mr. Robinson, and I love you and I respect you as a saint and as a man and as a father. And I think that people like you should be celebrated and heralded. And I think that you should be the poster child for what a great father is, and that we still should never let this die down and continue to seek justice until all six of them are arrested and put in jail and then dealt with accordingly. All of them.
that's what I'm standing for. I mean, I just want justice for her, man. You know, just want justice for her. That's it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Tell you, man. Every day is a struggle. Every day is a struggle. knowing that she's not here no more. At least I know where she at. At least I know where she at, and I can go and talk to her.
Yeah.
But I won't get no response back. But at least I know where she at. That she back here in the state. That she wasn't gonna just be thrown away or whatever they do when people don't come and claim they loved ones down there in another foreign country. And just
Ha-
ain't gonna let that happen.
have you had a chance to like take a break and because I know what a lot of things going on, and I'm sure your job is taking considerations of what's going on. Is it anything that you need from me specifically before we continue to have this conversation? Is it any way like I can assist with a bill or anything? And maybe this is a conversation that we should have offline. We'll have this conversation offline. I don't want to talk about this online. Um, but you need a break, man. You don't need to be sitting at home in that same space, like that. You need to be in some way, shape, or form. You got to come out of that. I don't know if I can send you a ticket, put you up in a hotel, something, in order for you to just take a break from everything that's going on right now. I know that you're going through a lot, and it's some things like at this point it's kind of a standstill. But you might need a break, Mr. Robinson, because this is too much for one man to deal with at this point.
I appreciate it, Daniel, man, but I'm just taking one day at a time, man. I mean, like I said, it's a struggle. I'm always a person, a man that just stand. When crisis moment come, man, I just stand and I deal with it, man, the best way I can. But this right here just really hit home. I'm a Charlotte native. You know, People know me around here in Charlotte. They know what type of man and person I am. And when they see my daughter, I always tell my daughter, I said, no matter where you go, somebody gonna know you because of your dad. Once they look at you and that smile, they're gonna say, "Who is your dad?" That's how I figured it. And she done came to me and said a lot. Yeah, Dad, I tried to tell you. you know, and they'll come back and say, "You got a well-mannered daughter." I thought that was your daughter.
Hmm.
And like I say, man, it was a struggle with her. In high school, but God grace, the light came on. She got it. The light
Yeah.
came on.
Hmm.
Going to teacher conference, making sure what she need to be doing and what she ain't doing. She had got off track a little bit,
Yeah, but I mean that's what we
you
all
know.
do. I don't know any kid in their 20s that or in their teens that didn't get off track. That's a part of the growth, right? That's a part of the learning. That's a part of
Yeah,
the
so no
evolution.
bill. But then you got to have those parents in the background to make sure they get back on track. Let them know it don't take number one or two time to slip up, and your life can be disaster. You know, I tell everyone, you're the only one control your destination of how you want to be and how you want to live. You're the only one, but
Hmm.
God got to be the forefront in front of it, to the utmost.
Are you still in contact with
And
Mexican authorities? How are people? How are the authorities in the United States and the authorities in the Mexican authorities communicating with you? Do they talk to you regularly? Do they just give you updates? What does that look like?
I ain't hearing from nobody down there.
Really?
Nobody. Nah,
Mm.
nobody. Only thing I heard has been about a week, 2 weeks ago when they called me from down there and tell me, they gonna open the case back up, investigate it, and then all of a sudden, the day before Thanksgiving, I'm hearing what everybody heard that the warrants had been drawn up, but they ain't put no name on it. So other than that, that's I'm hearing now. I'm hearing the same thing with y'all.
Do you think
That's it.
that they're, in your opinion, do you think that they're just waiting for this kind of to die down and for people to stop talking about it? Because I personally believe that they have a financial incentive as far as tourism. Um, trying to get people to continue to come over there and visit in order for this to go away. Do you think that they're just kind of dragging their feet because they hoping that it die down so that they can get from under the microscope and the radar?
No, I'm I'm just thinking it's the paperwork. I guess 'cause like I said, it took me a while for the paperwork to get through transfer my daughter to get here. It was a lot of paperwork. So I'm thinking it's the paperwork. Um, that's what I'm thinking of. You know, but I something gonna be done, man, because they came down there and lied to the Mexican authorities. I don't understand how they let them get back on that plane so quick, knowing they were deaf. A life was taken inside that building.
Hmm.
I'm just
So
mind
when
boggling.
did
I'm
the
just
maid
mind
find
boggling
her?
about it.
The maid found her before they flew back to the United States. Then
Right, but they already had gone from the house. It was at the airport hotel. So I'm just trying to figure out how they were able enough to get back on that plane that quick.
I agree.
I'm just mind boggling because all of them couldn't get the same flight. They had to get different flights. You just gonna fly. All of you couldn't fly there at one time. So
I heard a
there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions not being answered.
I heard that there was a rumor that there was like CPR or something that was being administered or first aid that was being
Yeah,
administered.
all that. Yeah, yeah, all that. Well, I'm hearing the same thing too. The Mexican authorities say that the police and the medics and the doctors is a cover up. So I'm hearing they being investigated too. I'm hearing all that on the news. So um,
How is this
I'm just going.
possible?
I'm just listening. This thing got them bigger than what it was. First it was poison, alcohol poison. Now all this, God began to move the covers, all what really took place. You know,
Mm.
so He's showing the whole world what took place with his child, what they did to his child.
There's a rumor also that said that they purchased or she paid for some of the trip for some people or she paid for the actual place that they were staying is. Can you confirm or deny any of that?
I don't have no truth to that. I don't have no truth to that. I don't know, but I'm about to, I don't have no truth. I'm gonna dig into that also. I don't see no money missing from her account, so no credit card, no foul play went on her credit card. You know,
Okay. So all of that was just a
so I don't
rumor.
know what the truth. I
So
guess so. Like I said, I
because
don't
it's
have
a
no
lot
truth
of
to that.
rumors, and one thing that I don't like is having conversations or leaning into rumors as though they're true. And so, in addition to you telling your story and you giving insight and information as to how it is that you see things and feel, um, I like to dispel a lot of the different rumors that people have been saying that may or may not be true. So, as far as there is no foul play with regard to the finances.
Not that I know of. No, not that I know of. I don't know how true it is, but like I said, it'll come out. So I don't know how much money she had on her. I don't know. So
Okay. What do you think about people traveling to Mexico? Like, do you think that it's safe considering what you've had to deal with when something goes wrong in that instance? Um, and now that you having all of this bureaucratic and this red tape that you have to go through in order to just get stuff done because it's been over a month since this has happened. What are your thoughts about um, dealing with Mexican authorities or people going out of town from a safety perspective, specifically for women and for young girls? Do you think that it's wise or smart for them to be able to move like that?
I mean, going forward, I think the parents need to sit down and talk to them. I think the parents need to know who their friends are, who they're going with, and the parents need to check out their parents. What type of parents they are, and do they know they're going? Everybody needs to be on the same page.
Yep.
Everybody need to be on the same page. Everybody need to know they flights when they gonna what time they get there, and know and make sure they safe. And you know, you ain't got to be no watchdog or nothing. Just make sure everything is legit what they say it is.
Yep. Is it anything that I can do for you? Is it anything that you need for me? outside of what we talk about offline, or what we're going to talk about offline? Is there anything that you would like my audience to do specifically? Empower them.
I like your orders, man. If they can just call down the Mexico authority and really push it and get it, try to talk to the embassy or the U.S. attorney down there, why it's taking so long?
So everybody
Why
that's
it's taking
watching
so long?
this, everybody that's in the chat, everybody that restreams this, it's over 2,000 people watching this right now live. I need you guys to call Mexico and get justice for Shanquella Robinson on behalf of her family and her father, Mr. Bernard Robinson. If you can do everything that you can to push this through, to see it through, I'm going to try to do everything that I can to try to convince Mr. Robinson to accept additional help, not because he needs it, because he is a man that has been standing on his own too, and he got God behind him, but because we want to and we need to empower the people, that we have a passion for, and has been done an injustice to. It is important for us to take this up, because there is no organization that's going to come to our behalf. It ain't the United States of America. It ain't, these other organizations that say that they for us. It's not the politicians that campaign and spend billions and billions of dollars every single year that is trying to really, really stand on our behalf and help us. When a rubber meets the road, we all we got. And so if we don't have each other's back, especially the ones that has been done the worst too, and the most injustices too, if we don't have our back, if we can't stand for ourselves, then what makes you think that anything is ever going to be done? We tired of sitting. We not waiting. We know that Mr. Robinson is grieving and he's going through a lot. So we gonna have his back and we gonna stand with him. But at the same time, it's important for us to mobilize and use our platforms, not just for gossip, not just for having conversations, not just going back and forth and debating, but specifically to hold the people down that we love and we say we care for the most. When the opportunity presents itself, is more important for us to do exactly what it is that we say that we would do, when, if we find ourselves in those situations. If it was our daughter, if it was your daughter, what would you want people to do? And so we got to press. We're going to have to put pressure on your legislative branches, both here in the United States of America, these organizations, and then more importantly, put pressure on the Mexican authorities to speed up the process, because there's no reason in the world why these people should be walking around free as a bird after they sat there and walked up in her mother's house and ate her food and lied to her, and then did some of the most egregious things and recorded it as though it was just all fun and games like we playing in a video game. It's unreasonable. It's unreasonable, and it's absolute trash. Listen, I don't want to keep you any longer than you have to. Hopefully, I can have you back on here, to utilize my platform to give an update as to what's going on. But I got your back, and if it's I'm gonna be checking on you outside of this. But if it's anything that you need, you can get in contact with me, Mr. Robinson. I appreciate you, sir.
Well, her story down in Mexico also. The story's out down there also. So, um, they want justice for St. Cola also. I just want the U.S. Attorney General, to really feel my father. I mean, by me being a father, feel my pain. All fathers across this nation and across this world. I just want to thank you all for doing this interview with you all and y'all praying for me and everything. That I'm just real as I can be. I say what I mean and mean what I say, and that's my philosophy when it comes to being the man that I am. You know, and I just want to thank everybody across this world, across this nation, for giving me the strength to stand how I'm standing, because it's y'all prayers. It ain't no but y'all prayers. It ain't no but y'all prayers who had a relationship with God. That's all it is. But I'm gonna stand because I want justice for her. I
Mm.
want justice for her. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Let me know if you need
I
anything. I
appreciate it.
love you. I love you, bro.
Love you too, man. We all supposed to be our brother keeper. We all supposed to be our sister keeper. But people say something and mean and do something different, man. You know.
Yep.
I appreciate everybody. Just give me justice, man, for my daughter. Just stand with me on justice.
Oh, we going to get it. We not waiting. We
So,
going to get it. We
I
absolutely
told
going
her
to
I
get
would
it.
not let her die in vain. I would not let her die in vain, man. No.
Nah, that's not happening. Not on my
Oh,
watch.
I appreciate it, y'all.
I got your back. Thank you, sir.
All right,
I'm
y'all.
gonna call. I'm gonna
Yeah,
call you.
cool.
I'm gonna call you later on today.
All right, then.
I love you. So what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Let's talk about it. Right? You heard the man. You heard it out of his mouth. We don't deal in rumors over here. You gotta excuse me. I don't usually get choked up a little bit when somebody is on my platform or when certain things happen. But listen, and I'm just gonna say this very direct and blunt. And the only reason that I'm not up here pissed off and cussing is because I got respect for Mr. Robinson. And I don't want to mess up what it is that we put together today so that we can advocate for and mobilize for people to be able to do what it is that they're supposed to do. There is no help. There is nobody coming to save us. Nobody is coming to our rescue. We got to do it on our own. We all we got. If we can't utilize our voices and if the only thing that we utilize our voices for and our platforms for is the things that is not best for us, but we can't advocate for justice, we can't mobilize on behalf of the Father. You telling me not one organization, not NAACP, not Jesse Jackson, not any of these Al Sharptons, not none of these left, the Black Lives Matters, Patrice Cullors, not one politician, Biden, from the mayor all the way up into the White House. You telling me ain't nobody reached out to this man? Only when it makes sense for them to be able to secure your vote, right? Is that it? Is that it? So now this story goes away, and then in 2 or 3 months, we not talking about it no more, but you still got monsters running around. What makes you think that they're going to respect our community and we can't even police ourselves? We can't even we will go out and we will march about something that don't actually have any value in our life, but we won't actually mobilize for something that we see that's right in front of our face. We can touch this man. We can touch. You heard him. You heard his voice. He pleaded. Listen, this is a man's man. And so you got to take into consideration that this man is unwilling to ask for help because us as men, we feel like we can do it all or we going to die trying. But I'm telling you that he's hurting. I'm telling you as a father that has have one daughter and there is no more, he is hurting. And I'm not going to wait for him to ask for my help in order for me to be able to mobilize and do what it is that I'm going to do on a regular basis. Take a month off from shopping at Balenciaga that don't care nothing about you anyway. Take your eyes off of Hulu and watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians for 5 seconds in order to make a phone call down to Mexico and then advocate and press so that they can actually start to feel some pressure the same way that y'all did when y'all decided to go out there and protest when you ain't even really have nothing to protest about. How many of us is actually going to stand up on behalf of, it's not even for Bernard. It's for Shanquella. Nobody is coming to save us. We all we got. And I am my brother's keeper. The same way that you got that same energy during election time and these politicians, they not going to start to come back around until late 2023 so that they can get your vote for 2024. We don't care nothing about that no more. Let's stop being bamboozled. Let's stop being in a space to where somebody can take advantage of us out of our ignorance, and we're going to start educating ourselves. We're going to start mobilizing. We're going to start utilizing our resources, not just to tear each other down, but for good. And the number one issue for me personally, right now, right here, right now, is justice for Shanquella Robinson. Every single last one of those monsters that's running around, and even the doctors and the people that tried to cover this up down in Mexico, they need to be held accountable. And anything less than that, even if they are held accountable and the same exact justice is implemented onto them, it's not enough. So this is something that we can get behind. This is something that we should be passionate about. This is something that we need to advocate for. This is something that we need to utilize our platforms for. If you love him, if you advocating for, if you standing up, fathers, anybody that's a father, if you a man and you a father, not just a black man, I don't want this to just be a black issue. I want everybody to be pressing. If you are a father, this is something that you need to be making a phone call for. At the very least, he didn't even ask you for no money. He said, press him. If you a father, at least send up a prayer for him and then call. If you are a young girl, anywhere between the ages of 18 all the way up until 35, you need to be pressing, because you should be able to identify with Shanquella Robinson. If you are a mother, you should be able to identify. It's nobody that should not be able to identify with this story that we should not be mobilizing and asking for help from in order to bring justice on her behalf. This is something that we can get behind. It's no excuse. It takes a max 10-minute phone call for us to flood them lines and put pressure. Otherwise, because y'all gonna go down there and y'all gonna spend y'all money and put yourself in that same level of danger, and y'all gonna give them all y'all resources, but they it's never a requirement as to what it is that they should be able to do for us. Stand on it. Put pressure on it. Put it on your calendars at the very least. And then when we get the green light, we gonna make sure that Mr. Robinson is taken care of, because there's no reason in the world that he should have to grieve. And because let me tell you something, the utility company, the mortgage company, the car company, they don't care nothing about Shanquella Robinson. You know what they gonna do? Press him for that bill payment. There's no reason that this man should have to grieve the way that he grieving, and then at the same time being utilized as a pawn, so that all of these news media outlets is getting everything from him, but they're not necessarily doing anything for him. These organizations, these news media outlets, none of them is actually advocating on his behalf, and none of them is doing nothing for him. So it's all on us. We all we got. I love you. I appreciate you. I wanted to come to you guys today to be able to have this conversation and make sure that the real story is out. The real conversations is out. The rumors are dispelled. You actually got to see him communicate with you on a platform that is going to give him a voice and not paint a narrative. And we're going to do what we're supposed to do. I know my people. I know my tribe. I know my back chasers. I know we mobilize on the things that's actually meaningful and actually bring about change, and it resonates in the hearts of the people. Let's stand for justice for Shanquella Robinson. We appreciate you, Mr. Bernard Robinson. You are the perfect father. Don't let anybody tell you differently. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to tune in. Let's get it, y'all.